Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovely. So a bank woman is actually, upset to the fact that she feels that, people that look like me are actually the, you know, and the good thing about this thing is that it actually took some of her own to set her place, and as well as other stitches that decided to open up to really, really tell her the real issue in the society, which happens to be them again. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
White people attempting to rebrand white rage by co-opting the term black fatigue as though it's a phenomena they actually experience but only recently found the language to talk about is both dystopianly weird and tragically on brand. The copying, the whitewashing, the centering themselves by playing victim. But what's ironically telling about it is that the concept of racial battle fatigue is not new. It's been around for decades, and the term black fatigue has been used by black people for quite a while. Mary Frances Winters wrote a book that came out in 2020 titled Black Fatigue, and it describes the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that black people experience because of systemic racism. Now, notice how black people didn't call that white fatigue, because the purpose is not to assign blame in order to justify bad behavior. It is called black fatigue because it is a harm that black people experience, and so their focus is on addressing and combating that harm. Whereas when white people talk about experiencing black fatigue, they are not talking about a harm that they experience because of black people or anybody else. They are literally telling on their own inability to live in society with black people. And that's not new either. That's a pathology that has existed for hundreds of years, but call it what it is, white rage.
Black fatigue is when I can hear you 10 aisles away in Walmart with your 5 fucking kids.
Yeah, because poor white people who live in rural parts of the United States are famously respectful and quiet when they walk up in Walmart with the 5 kids that they had with their second cousin.
Black fatigue is when you have no home training and you have no idea how to act in public.
In my high school, I saw 2 white pregnant 15-year-olds fist fight each other in the lunchroom wearing Cookie Monster pajamas.
And a lot of it is culture. I've been in the hood. I've been in the fucking schools and the projects where I was the only white girl there.
Quick question. When you were at that school, did you read in a history book about how your grandmother was denied the right to vote and how your ancestors were brutalized and enslaved and eaten by their slave owners?
And I can 100% guarantee you that it's culture. When majority of y'all know someone who has been unalived by another black person.
Hey, so before you made this, did you look at the demographic statistics of school and, people who their entire family in cold blood?
Way more than any instance of a black person being unjustifiably unalived by the police. That's black fatigue.
All of you literally think every unarmed black person who was unalived by the police is completely justified. Breonna Taylor committed the crime of sleeping in her bed. Trayvon Martin was reaching for Skittles, and Ahmaud Arbery was going for a jog. All right?
As well as donating to Carmelo Anthony and Rodney Hinton Jr.
If I watched a police officer end my child's life in front of me and I was in a car, I'd run them over and you'd probably call me a hero. And I seem to remember another teenager who was carrying a weapon, warned people not to come near him. People without weapons came near him and then he used that weapon and ended their lives. His name was Kyle Rittenhouse, and y'all stand him to this day. If the kid who stabbed Austin Metcalf deserves to go to jail, then so does Kyle Rittenhouse.
When you aren't able to hold your own community accountable, that's a problem.
There is a Klan museum in the middle of downtown Kennesaw, Georgia. And when the white supremacist owner of it, Dent Myers, passed away, the Kennesaw government held it up to a vote on whether or not it stayed open, and the entire city of Kennesaw showed up in droves to make sure that that Klan museum stayed open. And you wonder why minorities feel unsafe in this country. We literally have no right to tell people how to hold their own accountable.
That's a problem. We're not going to sit here and act like this is new now, because now white people are speaking out.
I can't believe that y'all just spent the last 10 years telling everybody that Democrats were the real racists.
Especially when we've been told for so long to feel sorry for our whiteness.
No one wants you to feel sorry for your whiteness. There are still black Americans alive today who remember not being able to drink from the same water fountains and not getting a quality education and being shunned from being able to build wealth in this country. And before Cory Booker broke the record for the longest filibuster, it was previously held by a white supremacist segregationist who is trying to stop the Civil Rights Act. And you think that because the history book acknowledges that very real fact that you're being made to feel guilty about your race? No.
And that we have white tea privilege, whatever the fuck that means.
People with non-white names are statistically less likely to get hired for jobs. And back when Donald Trump was busy building his real estate empire instead of ruining my country, he was found liable for denying non-white tenants.
For something no white person alive today did.
Yeah, maybe the white people alive today didn't do it, but the flags that were flown by the people who did it are still being flown at full mast off the bed of every lifted Ford F-150 this side of the Mississippi, right next to the Blue Lives Matter sticker and the Trump flag.
And no black person alive today has experienced. There is no way that y'all thought that we would be quiet for this long.
Enlighten me. At what point in the last 20 years has the racism on the right been anything except loud, obnoxious, and disgusting?
No, having us on our knees, kissing BLM's feet, still begging for the reparations that you are not fucking owed because you did not go through what your ancestors went through.
When generation after generation, a certain race of people are systematically barred from climbing the social ladder of the country that they live in, it's gonna have a generational ripple effect.
Nobody cared about race until you started blaming white people for all of your current problems.
Hey, White here. Racial segregation, caring that your skin is a certain color, that was us. We came up with that. That's an us thing.
We're just untolerating it.
When this pseudo-edgelord psyop that we're calling the MAGA movement runs its course, and all of you are done having your little hissy fits because you feel just a little bit more comfortable finally being open about your racism, I hope this video and videos like these follow all of you to every job interview you ever go to. And I hope that you're in an unemployment line for the rest of your existence.
So you went with 1350. Cute. Those are arrests, not convictions. Arrest. Math is hard for white supremacists, and I understand that. I get it. It's hard. I wouldn't want to do it either if I didn't know how. But while you're doing this, while you are over here making this bullshit ass 1356 or 58 or whatever the fuck number, I want to show you something from your own fucking page. Hold on. This is a picture from your page. You see that name right there? That's a convicted felon. That is a convicted felon. A state in the union convicted him of crimes. That man has more felonies than I do. I'm not talking about arrests, I'm talking about convictions. In the court of law, I have no felonies whatsoever. None. Not a one. Never been arrested for one, never been charged for one, never been convicted for one, never spent time in jail for one. He has 34 felonies. Convictions. Convictions. Meaning he broke the fucking law and was convicted for it. So how does that 1356 look now? How does it look now? I'm one of the 13% and I ain't got a felony. I've never been even arrested for one. Him has been arrested, fingerprinted, mugshotted, booked, released, bailed out, tried, adjudicated by a jury of his peers, found guilty. Does 1356 apply to that? Does it? Make no mistake about it. Y'all use 1356 as if it's a cudgel. You want so desperately to believe that every single black person is bad. I once saw a number from one of you dumbasses that said in the year of 2022, 400 million black babies were aborted. For that number to be anywhere close to correct, my mother, who had been dead for 2 years at that time, would have had to have had 2 children or 2 abortions. You see, this is why these conversations are bad for y'all. They are. Even a aware black person with a limited amount of education can destroy everything that you're saying. And I think that's the point. Y'all like saying this shit to each other. It's like sitting in an elevator and farting and smelling each other's farts. Just because you have it in your head does not make it true. Because like I just showed you, I don't have any felony arrest, any felony convictions, none of that. But the guy whose name is on that goddamn card that you have as a video on your page does. So what does that say about you? What does it say about people like you? Would you like for me to do it demographically the same way you just did, 1356? Okay. 65% of boomers have felony convictions. Since we just pulling numbers out of our ass, he is a boomer. He has felony convictions. 65% of white men commit rapes on people. He was found liable for defamation of character and grape. So should I attribute all that? Should I attribute his crimes to every boomer man or 65% of them? Should I do, I don't know, 1365? Should I do that? 95% of older white people commit crimes. I'm basing it off of him. Isn't that what you do? Oh, you don't like it when that happens. Then maybe you shouldn't do it. I need you to understand this. Y'all can 1356 my dick in your mouth. 1356 these nuts. Just because you say it does not make it true. Just like supposedly 400 million black babies were aborted in 2022, which would have meant my mother would have had to have a couple of them. And she was 84 when she left this earth. And we're not even going to touch the fact that you cannot be the majority in this country and not also be the majority of everything. Crime, yeah. Abuse of narcotics, yeah. Welfare recipients, yeah. Medicaid recipients, yeah. Food stamp users, yeah. Alcoholics, yeah. Baby mamas, yeah. Do you get it now? Do you get it? Is it clear to you? Maybe you shouldn't 1356 shit. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe in this regard, you should be an old white woman. Tend your garden, love your husband or not, love your kids or not, love your grandkids or not, and stay out of conversations that are going to hurt your feelings. Because I'm not my ancestors. I am never going to play fair with you. I'm going to remind you that you are part of a demographic that has committed heinous acts like, I don't know, mass pews. And since I don't know when one of y'all is going to snap off with your arsenal and decide to take out an entire Dunkin' Donuts because you had a bad day or whatever, maybe I should attribute that to you too as well, huh? How about the crimes of Kyle Rittenhouse? Do you want those? Do you want them? Peyton Gendron, you want those crimes too? You know, he drove from Pennsylvania to Buffalo to go to a predominantly black neighborhood in a predominantly black supermarket, and 10 people are no longer on this planet because of him. How about Dylan Roof? You want some of his crimes too? I could go on. I won't even talk about the serial killers. Yeah, sit this one out. Sit it out. Because if you continue to trek on this grass, I'm going to break your heart. And I'm going to have a smile on my face as I do it.
I had to ask ChatGPT for a word or term that I could use for how I feel about everybody caring about the children in Gaza, the children, Mexican children, immigrants, and everybody else's children and people but my own. And the term that it came up with was moral or righteous resentment. I like empathy for other groups of people, and the reason that I say that is I don't have a choice but to, because empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. I don't have to put myself in your shoes. You're in my shoes. You understand? You're in my people's shoes. Sympathy requires for me to have a distance from your situation and be an outside observer and say, oh, I feel bad for you, but I don't have an emotional connection because I haven't been through that. I cannot have sympathy for other people because I cannot remove myself from proximity. My people go through that. So I'm not lacking in moral character. What I'm lacking in the ability to shovel out all of these emotions and feelings and activism for other people. When those same people commit atrocities towards my people and ignore my people's genocide unless it is to attach their own struggle onto my own people's. That is not evil. That is not morally wrong. They respond to the treatment of my people. I am not required to have any type of emotional reaction to my oppressor's struggle. You cannot demand the oppressed to stand up for the oppressor. And no matter what situation people are in, the history is outlined and shows that all peoples have been a direct oppressor to my people and continue to be so, especially as Black Americans, especially in African countries. The countries that y'all stand up for that are other non-Black countries have been colonized by non-Black people. In some of these countries, they've damn near wiped out the ethnic genetic pool for Black people that were the original inhabitants because of slave trades. How can I have empathy when you have literally changed the DNA of my people, changed their ethnic makeup to where they are no longer Black in some circumstances, where they have even separated themselves from Blackness, and rightfully so, because they no longer share the phenotype of my people. And in that, turn those same people that used to be my people and should be my people into oppressors themselves, into racists themselves. Because if you have a slur for my people, whether you share my skin color or not, and some of my features or not, you are not of my people. Jarir, Abid, etc., you are not of my people. And that is really the entire precipice of how I feel about the entirety of situations not involving my people. Because here's the thing, if the Black issue had been solved, none of this would be occurring. People had given a damn and not been so focused on exploiting Black people over the past couple thousand years, we would not be in the situation we are in today. So do not tell me about your oppression, because when you are overly oppressed, so are Black people. We have already been through the situation. You lay heavier on top of us with every inch of your oppression. But even when you are not oppressed, it still lays heavy on us, because you will turn around and do the same exact thing as if you were still oppressed. You will still oppress us. That pretty much summarizes how I feel and why I talk the way that I do. If you want to call me prejudiced, that's fine. It does meet the definition. I do prejudge so that I can protect myself, my children, my people, sure. You can't call me xenophobic, because xenophobia is the unreasonable fear of a certain group of people, religion, ethnicity, all that. My fear is not unreasonable. You can call me racist if you want to. In fact, I would love the title. I wish I had the power to be racist. And those are my stances. Toodaloo.
Like seriously, lovely, the way at which some of these people see themselves and that of their community as if they are, oh my God, they are so perfect, they are so clean, they are so everything. So there has been this conversation on the social platform about the black fatigue and white fatigue and all of that, where some group of pan-colored women decided to come out to talk about how they are so tired of dealing with people that looks like me, with their constant complaints, with their constant, you know, complaint. And it actually began from a pan-colored woman. Then every other, pan-colored people decided that it was going to be the opportunity for them to unleash the grievances they have had inside of them for a very long time. It get to a point where a pan-colored man came out with his foot to narrate a story or an encounter he actually encountered um from a black man. It has to do with, so he was talking about how He was on traffic. One thing led to the other. A black man was at the front of him. He was trying to like let him lead the way. Like he was just, you know, saying some random things that every other person does. Some random character that is done by every other person. Everyone have issues with some characteristics of human and all of that. But the way at which he painted it as if, okay, this is specifically done by people that looks like me, it just tells the kind of people that they are. Some of these people complain about black fatigue and all of that and how they're so done with the complaint. You are complaining of the way at which black people are complaining about the way at which you treat them. What happens to actually becoming a better version of yourself and not being racist? Because the only thing that would make black person complain is when you're being racist to them. And so you actually want them to be quiet and let you have all of your ways to do some racist stuff, and they wouldn't complain. The same way you have a black fatigue. Black people also have white fatigue. Black people are so tired with the constant using of the N word, with the constant, trying to make everything seems that you are just the perfect person. They are tired with the constant rain and seas that spew out from you people, your character, the way at which you look at the racial profile anytime black people goes on for shopping or something. Like they are tired of that. They are tired of the ill treatment they receive from some pan-colored people, all because they are black people. They are seem tired about that. They are tired of it. I saw a stage one time on TikTok, and this black lady was complaining about how she was treated because she boarded a first class. She was in she was on a first class, and this group of pan-colored people were like, "Oh my God, what is she doing here? Or how is she able to afford the ticket? Oh my goodness, this person is not supposed to be in the same lane." Like, what is wrong with you people? You think you don't have anything to talk about? You think you don't have stains on your white? You think so? You think you're just so perfect? Oh my God, you're the most perfect, you know, creature on the planet Earth. Like, am I even going to talk about the? I don't really want to go deep into this because the way at which you people feels that, oh my God, they are the ones loud. You are the ones doing that. You will provoke someone. You will actually intentionally provoke someone, and you expect this person not to defend him or herself, right? They will be the first person to trigger you. They'll be the first person to provoke you. They should be the first person to just get you talking. And when you talk, oh my God, you're so loud. Oh my God, you are so this. They gaslight you, you know, just to, just for them to achieve that stereotype they have, bestowed upon a black person. Oh, I told you, yeah, black women, they're loud, or black men, they are so aggressive. Oh my God, rude. You know, Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel up to this extent, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Comment section of what you think of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.